Week 07 assignment. Quantum Awakening, Leadership, Ethics, and the Architecture of Human Flourishing in the Post-Classical Era. Han Gwyn Walsh College, Dual Doctorate Program in Organizational Leadership, DBA plus PhD. Course, IT 707 FA 2025V, Advanced Topics in Technology Instructor, Dr. Vagamudi date, November 2025. Thematic Introduction. Quantum computing represents far more than the next technological frontier. It is a civilizational threshold. The transition from classical computation to the quantum paradigm signals a deeper shift in how humanity understands complexity, uncertainty, and the essence of information. Unlike traditional binary systems, quantum computation operates within the domains of superposition, entanglement, and probability amplitudes, domains that mirror the complexity of human morality, leadership, and consciousness itself. As we stand at what I call the post-classical era, quantum technologies demand a new kind of leader, one who can integrate technical literacy with moral maturity, strategic intelligence with ethical foresight, and rapid innovation with deep inner stillness. Across this week's readings, 3 themes emerge with profound alignment to my dissertation on conscious global leadership. 1. Quantum technologies fundamentally reshape the architecture of power, security, and trust. 2. Innovation without ethical evolution leads to systemic fragility. And 3. Human flourishing in the quantum age depends on leaders capable of navigating paradox, uncertainty, and accelerating complexity with wisdom. The following analyses therefore approach each article not only as technical scholarship, but as spiritual and ethical texts, revealing the deeper questions that arise when humanity engineers machines that operate beyond classical intuition. Article 1. Quantum Computing, Fundamentals, Implementations, and Applications. Bott et al., 2022. General Understanding. Bott and colleagues present one of the most comprehensive foundational overviews of quantum computing, addressing its historical origins, physical implementations, theoretical underpinnings, and emerging applications. Unlike many introductory surveys, this work situates quantum computing within a broader evolution of scientific paradigms from classical semiconductor scaling toward atomic scale computation governed by quantum mechanics. The authors emphasize that quantum computing is not simply faster computation, but a qualitatively different model of information processing rooted in superposition, entanglement, and quantum reversibility. Their framing reveals quantum computing as both a technological revolution and a philosophical transformation in how humanity encodes, manipulates, and interprets information. Methodology. The article employs a structured review methodology grounded in scientometric analysis, historical tracing, and comparative evaluation across multiple physical implementations, including trapped ions, superconducting circuits, NMR systems, spintronics, and semiconductor-based qubits. Data from global research output, publication patterns, and country-level contributions lend empirical depth to their review. Technical explanations are supported with mathematical formulations, Dirac notation, block sphere, tensor products, and engineering-level descriptions, gates, coherence, DiVincenzo criteria. By combining historical, mathematical, physical, and computational perspectives, the authors provide a panoramic foundation suitable for scholars, engineers, and policymakers. Findings and analysis. The review reveals 4 major insights. First, quantum computing is accelerating globally, with the United States, China, and Germany leading in research output, indicating strong geopolitical significance. Second, multiple physical implementations coexist, each with trade-offs regarding coherence, scalability, and manufacturability. Third, applications extend far beyond cryptography, including quantum simulation, chemistry, optimization, and secure communications. Fourth, quantum error correction and gate fidelity remain the central bottlenecks preventing large-scale systems. These findings highlight a field in rapid evolution, moving from theoretical exploration toward practical engineering. Importantly, The accelerating number of publications and industrial investments suggests that quantum computing is transitioning from academic curiosity to national priority, a trend with significant ethical implications. Critical evaluation. The article succeeds in its breadth, but offers limited coverage of ethical, social, and governance implications. While the authors mention the potential disruption of cryptography, they stop short of examining the broader societal consequences of quantum breakthroughs, such as destabilizing global security infrastructures, amplifying surveillance capacities, or widening geopolitical power asymmetries. From a leadership perspective, the absence of a moral framework around quantum acceleration represents a missed opportunity. The article reveals a technological landscape moving faster than ethical deliberation, highlighting the urgent need for conscious global leadership. Implications and applications. For governments and organizations, the implications are profound. Quantum computing will redefine cybersecurity, requiring post-quantum cryptographic migration. Industries dependent on optimization, simulation, and materials discovery will be transformed. Education systems must incorporate quantum literacy at all levels. Ethical frameworks must evolve at the pace of innovation. Within the context of my dissertation, this article demonstrates that quantum technologies demand leaders who can integrate scientific understanding with ethical consciousness. Quantum literacy must therefore become a core competency of future executives, policymakers, and global decision makers. Article 2. Commercial Applications of Quantum Computing. 2021. General Understanding. The second article explores quantum computing from a commercial and industrial perspective, emphasizing how quantum advantage can reshape sectors such as finance, logistics, pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, and energy. Rather than focusing on the physics of quantum systems, the paper investigates how organizations can leverage quantum algorithms to solve real-world problems currently intractable for classical computation. The authors position quantum computing as a transformative economic force capable of unlocking billions in value through optimization, simulation, and secure communications. Methodology. The study adopts a market-oriented research design combining economic forecasting, industry case analyses, and comparative assessments of classical versus quantum performance. It synthesizes insights from industry reports, technological roadmaps, and pilot deployments conducted by major corporations such as IBM, Google, Volkswagen, and JP Morgan. By integrating theoretical capabilities with emerging commercial prototypes, the article bridges the gap between research-stage quantum science and industry-level application. Findings and analysis. The article highlights several high-impact findings. Optimization problems dominate early commercial value, especially in logistics, supply chain management, portfolio optimization, and routing. Quantum simulation promises breakthroughs in drug discovery and materials science, potentially reducing development cycles by years. Hybrid quantum classical architectures will drive early adoption, as fully error-corrected quantum computers remain years away. Organizations face a talent and literacy gap where technical complexity impedes adoption. Quantum readiness will become a competitive differentiator, with early adopters gaining disproportionate long-term advantages. These insights align closely with organizational leadership trends. Companies willing to invest early in quantum literacy, experimentation, and infrastructure will shape future markets. The quantum divide may become as significant as the digital divide. Critical evaluation. While the article effectively highlights commercial opportunities, it lacks sufficient attention to potential risks. The authors treat quantum computing as a value generator, but do not engage with the systemic disruptions it may cause, such as job displacement, security destabilization, or ethical dilemmas in the pharmaceutical and financial sectors. From a conscious global leadership perspective, innovation must be balanced with responsibility. The absence of governance frameworks, ethical auditing models, and stakeholder considerations underscores the need for holistic quantum strategies that center human flourishing. Implications and applications. The article's implications extend across multiple domains. Businesses must begin quantum workforce development now. Policymakers should create regulatory environments that encourage innovation while protecting societal interests. Leaders must prepare for strategic shifts in data security, intellectual property, and competitive advantage. Ethical guidelines must be integrated into commercial quantum deployment. This article reinforces the principle that technological advantage without moral intelligence creates fragile systems. Future leadership must therefore integrate innovation strategy with ethical foresight. Article 3. The impact of quantum computing on present cryptography. 1804.00200V1. General understanding. This article directly addresses one of the most urgent global challenges of the quantum era, the vulnerability of contemporary cryptographic systems. The authors explain that widely used encryption schemes, RSA, ECC, and Diffie-Hellman, are mathematically secure under classical computation, but become breakable once large-scale quantum computers can implement Shor's algorithm. This introduces the existential threat summarized as store now, decrypt later, where adversaries can harvest encrypted data today and decrypt it in the future. The article therefore reframes quantum computing as both a technological breakthrough and a potential geopolitical destabilizer. Methodology. The authors apply a rigorous comparative analysis between classical and quantum computational models, mathematical complexity theory, and cryptographic resistance principles. They examine known quantum algorithms, estimate computational thresholds, and evaluate cryptographic schemes based on asymptotic security. The study also reviews emerging post-quantum cryptographic candidates such as lattice-based, hash-based, code-based, and multivariate polynomial systems. This methodology allows the authors to map the landscape of vulnerabilities and solutions with clarity and precision. Findings and analysis. The paper reaches several critical conclusions. Most of today's public key cryptography is quantum vulnerable, creating a systemic global security risk. Shor's algorithm represents an existential threat to RSA and ECC, only mitigable through complete cryptographic migration. Post-quantum cryptography is the only long-term solution, requiring urgent standardization and implementation. Quantum-resistant cryptography must be deployed long before quantum computers achieve full capability, due to long-term data sensitivity. Governments and organizations underestimate transition complexity, risking catastrophic delays. These findings expose the need for immediate global coordination. The authors argue persuasively that waiting for quantum supremacy is dangerously short-sighted. Quantum readiness must begin now. Critical evaluation. This article excels in technical rigor, but, like many in cybersecurity literature, does not sufficiently address the ethical and societal dimensions of cryptographic transition. The implications of cryptographic collapse extend beyond technical systems. They threaten the integrity of global finance, healthcare records, national defense, and personal privacy. A conscious global leadership response requires integrating governance, public education, justice ethics, and global cooperation, not merely cryptographic engineering. Implications and applications. Quantum-safe cryptography must become a national and organizational priority. Key applications include securing governmental, financial, and healthcare infrastructure, protecting digital identities, intellectual property, and classified data, updating legal, compliance, and regulatory frameworks, and establishing global equity in cryptographic access to prevent geopolitical imbalance. This article reinforces my dissertation argument that ethical intelligence, not just technical intelligence, must guide our transition to the quantum era. Cross-article synthesis, ethical intelligence as the foundation of quantum civilization. Across all three articles, one theme rises consistently. Quantum computing is not simply a technological event, it is a moral event. It challenges humanity to evolve ethically as rapidly as it innovates technologically. All three studies demonstrate that quantum computing disrupts foundational aspects of digital life: security, power, economics, scientific discovery, and the boundary between knowable and unknowable systems. Quantum acceleration, therefore, requires a correspondingly accelerated form of leadership, one grounded in conscience, responsibility, humility, and global stewardship. The first article establishes the scientific and physical foundations of quantum computing, revealing the complexity, potential, and fragility of quantum systems. The second frames quantum technologies as economic disruptors capable of reshaping industries and markets. The third article warns of existential vulnerabilities in global cryptographic infrastructures. Together, these works support the core argument of my dissertation. Human flourishing in the quantum age demands an integration of scientific mastery and ethical maturity. Without ethical intelligence, quantum intelligence becomes dangerous. With ethical intelligence, quantum technology becomes a pathway toward global prosperity, peace, and shared advancement. Course recommendations toward quantum-ready leadership. To strengthen IT 707 and prepare future leaders for quantum transformation, I recommend the following enhancements. First, a quantum ethics and governance module should be added as a dedicated component exploring quantum harm scenarios, cryptographic justice, global equity, and governance frameworks. Second, a quantum leadership lab could provide simulated ethical decision-making environments using quantum threat and opportunity scenarios aligned with organizational strategy. Third, quantum literacy for executives workshops would help non-technical leaders understand superposition, entanglement, quantum threat modeling, and post-quantum migration planning. Fourth, human flourishing integration should embed moral philosophy, nonviolence ethics, and leadership responsibility into every technical discussion. Finally, an interdisciplinary symposium held periodically could bring together experts in cybersecurity, ethics, philosophy, law, and leadership to foster holistic dialogue. These additions would transform the course from technical training into a holistic preparation for the next era of global leadership. Author's reflection to Dr. Vagamudi. Dear Dr. Vagamudi, this week's exploration deepened my understanding of the profound threshold humanity now faces. Quantum computing is not merely a tool, it is a mirror. It reflects back to us the urgency of ethical evolution, the consequences of accelerated intelligence, and the responsibility of conscious global leadership. Through your guidance in IT 707, I am learning to perceive technology not only through the lens of innovation, but through the lens of stewardship. Thank you for cultivating a learning environment where advanced technology becomes an invitation to cultivate wisdom, responsibility, and human flourishing. With gratitude, Han Nguyen. References: APA 7th edition. Bhatt, H.A., Condé, F.A., Kaushik, B.K., Bashir, F., and Shah, K.A., 2022. Quantum Computing: Fundamentals, Implementations, and Applications. IEEE Open Journal of Nanotechnology, 3, 61-77. Commercial Applications of Quantum Computing. 2021, Journal of Quantum Information Science, 12, 3, 1-18. Mosca, M., and Cooper, D., 2018. The Impact of Quantum Computing on Present Cryptography, AR-14, 1804.00200V1. https://arcsford.org/abs/1804.00200.